What do you guys think would have happened if all of a sudden Ethan, these names, if Sam Seder and Steven Crowder went, okay, let's actually talk about big tech and the internet. Is that a world that we could have imagined here? Like, would that actually have happened?
I think they had the perfect outcome that they wanted. Like, I don't think that.
Me too.
Like, how many million views does that video have?
It's like 3 million. It's like 2.7.
I'm sure it's a highly viewed video on their pages. It went perfectly. That's why at the end they're celebrating. They're like, "We got him." No, you're gonna get a lot of views.
Yeah, did they? That's a great question too. Did they actually get him? No. Did anybody get anybody?
No, no really. One got anybody.
No.
I watched it and I felt sick. I felt sick because Crowder,
yeah, me too.
A lot of reasons. But
I had a headache. I had like a headache for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that it's more about the show. That it's a show. It's just a show.
Yeah, actually, like it's the kind of thing that makes you wonder. Like, there's a non-zero chance that like everybody involved in this like conversation went out for drinks afterwards.
Yeah,
and,
really.
And I like, and it's that quote of like, I like fighting. What was it again? Fighting and fun.
I love fighting for what I believe in. I love having fun while doing it.
It's like such a twist of like what I think like an eager politician is, because I think an eager politician like wants to fight for what they believe in, but I don't think that that's why they get into it. I think that they get, not for the fighting, at least, you know, they want to change the world and they want to make the world better, but they don't get into it for a love of fighting. They get into it for a love of, you know, a love of community and a desire to make their communities better. But
yeah.
I think something though that is starting to, because Ethan, I completely agree with you, and I even think that when we look at politics, most politics, hopefully and rightfully so, are boring. If you've ever actually just sat down and read a House bill, it's the most dry, terrible thing
dreadful
that you'd ever have to read.
I would
but we're getting to this point. We're getting to this point where, unfortunately, if, let's say, you as a politician, you want change, the greatest tool you can use to get change is to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And so the spotlight has now become the greatest weapon you can possibly have in order to enact change.
That person is like either could get under his skin or could actually make good points, and they don't want their audiences to see that. Like, at least that's what I assume. I don't actually, Steven Crowder, I've never watched his videos, but I assume, you know, they have this very insulated audience that they don't want, even though he might think some of those things that Sam Seder thinks. But if you have an audience that only agrees with a certain viewpoint, like, you got to stick it.
I get the feeling that, you know, Sam and Steven Crowder actually might have quite a bit in common to a certain extent. I think if I were writing this, if I were writing a script and I were using these men as characters, I would have Sam wanting to be more like Steven, and I'd want Steven to be more like Sam. Secretly, that's what they want.
Definitely. I think so too.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That's good. You really nailed it there.
Yeah.